Alright, so today's the video we are going to introduce a db2 command. It's called a db2batch. So db2 command, it is a benchmarking tool provided by IBM. It has been there for many years. However, it's not very popular because people may not realize how this tool can be used, and you rarely see people talking about it, but it does being used by people who are doing performance tuning, those kind of database activity. So instead of to read this the document and all the command options, so I'm just use a simple case to demo. So let's see what this tool can do. So basically, you feed the SQL or SQLs to the command. So the command will either run and explain the SQL, or just explain the SQL and return some timing related benchmarking data and other performance-related data you will see. So if you want to see the help line, so you can do db2batch -h. So I'm going to demo like 1 or 2 case and easy to understand and use in the real world. Okay, so let's go back to the web browser. So if you search db2batch, you will end up with the IBM page. It says benchmarking tool command, blah, blah. And it's really difficult to understand, so there's so many options, so many, So anyway, so we just, to simplify, at the end, if you go through this document, lots of people may get lost, okay? So at the end, they have an example. So this example says you use this command, pass with the database name, pass with a SQL script. Then they show the example, okay? So that's good enough, okay? So we're going to use a demo to do the similar thing. And let's go to our sample system. So the demo system I'm using, it's a Linux system. It's Oracle Linux. So I'm using the root to log on to the system. Then I'm going to switch to the db2 instance 1. This is the db2 instance, okay? So let's do a list db directory. So I have one database called the TPC H2G. This but a database about 1 or 2 gig, so a sample database I created in the past, So let's see, we have a query. So the query is called 01.sql. So let's take a look at this query, okay? So basically this query, it is a query taken from the TPCH benchmarking, the first query from the TCPH, okay? So let's just use this query and let's use a simple one. I think I have another one called just 1.sql. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same, just a little bit modified. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, so I'm going to use 1.sql as example. Okay, so let's do the help. Okay, db2batch. If you db2batch -h or question mark doesn't. db2batch question mark or -h, you will get this couple of page about how to use this command, okay? And if you want an expert, you have to read those all these things. And so for people with typically just want to benchmarking a script or SQL script, we just simply run. Okay, so let's do the first one. So in this case, I'm going to benchmarking the SQL script or SQL statement. You can have multiple scripts, SQL statements in the script. Okay. So my database name I called tpch2g. Okay. Then followed by the f. F is the file, so it's 1.sql. So if I run this one, you will see it will run this. You see, this is the query. The db2batch run this query. They return like 4 row in this case, and total 3.4 seconds. Okay, so that is what is this benchmarking to? This is the first use case. It's very simple. You basically pass either the script to the tool, or you can pass the statement through the standard in. Okay, but the script is more convenient because you can have multiple, and also there's some other advanced use like pass parameters, pass how many times you want to run this SQL statement. Okay, so this is the first. Besides this timing information, right? That's total time like 3.5. So let's run second time. You can do the same thing. Okay. So you can run a couple of times to get a timing information. Of course, as you can see, the second time may be changed because of it depends if your data is being cached into memory or not. Okay. And but when you do the benchmarking, you probably each time you want to do a clean, clean run. Okay. And let's see. So of course, if you don't want to use this batch, you can use like some Linux command or any command you do the timing. Let's do this. We'll see. Let's see. I'm doing tpch2g. This is the database. So you can do the same thing, right? You can see a time db2 minus tf, then the SQL script. It gives you the same timing information. You see, it gave a 2.7 seconds. So, however, the db2batch utility can do more things. So let's use another example. Okay. So it's not only can reporting the timing information, how long it takes, like this elapsed time. Okay, you can also report some other information. Let's return to let's see. Let's return to. Before I run this, I need to do a db to terminate my current session. Okay. All right. So and so you can use a flag or option called O minus O. Let's just use the example first. I'm going to use P2, okay? I will go to the help to see what is P means. So if you run this command, and you will see they give lots of information. What are those informations are? This is the information from DB to get a snapshot. That's old-fashioned to get the session information, this application information. From here, you can see when you run these SQL statements, how many resources are being used. Also, they also give you how many logical reads, how many physical reads, those kinds of things. Those information and also will help sometimes for benchmarking. When you make some changes, you will see, oh, my logical reads reduced, some other information like pull read time, write time, those kind of information. Okay, it provided some help information for the performance data. Okay, also you can see how many row reads, like direct reads, those how many direct reads, how long it takes for this direct reads. Okay, this is the information we need. And then besides that, let's go back to the help. Okay, so in the help, if you do -h, oh, it doesn't work with more. So let's just go to the section. It's called -o. So -o is called control option. They basically control option and value you will read through. So this is the control and value. If you use F, that means how many row you want to fetch. Okay. The P it is most important one. It's basic say what the performance information you want. Like if 0 is nothing, 1 it is timing information, 1 it is 2 is timing information plus agent snapshot information. Okay. 3 and plus the database. 4 and continue to they could just they're just adding more. Okay. So if you want 5, that is also adding the like table space, buffer pool snapshot. Then the default is 1, as we said before, right? So if you not specify this, it's the default. Okay. And also you can use different query optimization. You can control this. And old time you probably need because of you can have more like a control to the optimizer. Explain mode. By default, they won't do the explain. If you specify E, they will just explain the query, not execute. If otherwise, if you specify yes, then they will execute also, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's give a second example. So I'm going to use second. In this example, I'm not only getting the performance snapshot information, I want to use E to get the explain plan. Okay, so -E, if I just do explain, so this time they will not run this query and populate to the table. Okay, yeah, you see it's 0. That's basically just populate this table. So you can use another tool to get the format to read this explain table. I'm not going to cover here, but that is when you need it. Okay, so if you want both data and also the explain plan, you can use E equals yes. So let's see what's going on. Let's try one more time. Let's do a db2 terminate one more time. Maybe some caching play. Okay. Terminate. db2 terminate. Maybe do a stop. So okay, let me do a db2 stop. Okay, and restart this instance and a retry. Okay. So now let's try one more time. So in this way, I want both the performance data. Let me remove this. Just use this one to see what's going on. Okay, this time is correct. Let me take a look at the help again. What it says. Okay. So let's see. E explain. Explain as executed query. Okay. So and maybe it's a bug. I don't know. So basically, let's see if I want just E. Yes, just execute and explain to see what it's going to give. You see it's super fast. It seems, oh, okay. I see what is this time. Because that is required, we have to create this explain table. So because we don't have explain tables, we can't do both, okay? So if you want to do the explain table, you can call start procedure to create explain table. I don't have handy, but you can always do the old fashioned. It's called, let me connect the database first. db2 connect to tpch2g, okay? So let me connect to my database. Then I'm going to run create the explain table. It's going to tf. So it's going to be in the SQL lab miscellaneous, I believe. Yeah, this one. This is all the way to create the explain plan table. And but it's not recommended nowadays because of in this SQL they have like the log column is no login. So that is what IBM nowadays have a procedure to do this. Okay, but still they can just for this test I can still use this one. Okay. So now let's go back to our command. So in this command, we want P2, that means the timing and the application snapshot. Also, we want the explain plan. Okay, so let's see if you do this. Now you see, and it's going to not only to run and populate and to use these two. What is important to us, it is basically if you run a couple of times, you can get the total runtime, and also you can get those information. For example, if you tune a SQL, right? So you change the SQL, you add in indexes, you will compare those data, so you could have a solid like numbers to benchmarking. You made improvement about the query tuning. All right, let me give another one more example. Okay, this is the same thing. So in this way, say if you don't want to run this several times, you can put some like options inside here. It's called derivative. Let's see, it's called the BG block. So you can decide how many times you run. Let's say I want to run 3 times this one. It's called begin block, okay? You tell this DB to say run this 3 times for me, okay? And then you also adding another derivative called end of block. So this is the syntax, okay? So if you put this one, this 3 means 3 times, iterate 3 times. You can do this as well, okay? So let's run this one more time. I don't need this one. Yeah, I can have this one or remove this one either way. Okay. It is, let me restart the instance again, okay? Stop, let's see, stop. Okay. Yeah, this must have data cached, okay. Yeah, that is when you do the performance tuning, you'll be aware using these two every time you re-prepare your environment. Okay, let's do this one more time. All right. So you see, I run 3 times. For in this case, this is repetition 3. They run 3 times, total 3 seconds. the minimum times this, the max times this. So in this example, the first time they run 3 seconds, subsequently they run like milliseconds. Okay, so that is indicates the data is being cached into memory, and because we run in the same session. So it's different from like the one. Let me remove this. You will see the difference. Okay. So let me remove this. Just run it once. The difference. Okay. So let's remove this. Let's run. So you will see the first time is 3 seconds. Let me run the second time. It's still 3 seconds because when we run this way, we run a different session every time we connect the database and run it. So there's no cached data. When you run these three all together in a single session, the first session cached the data, the second session will reuse. So that is sometimes make the measurement is not accurate. If you want to do a clean test and you will need to refresh this environment. Okay, so that is just FYI. Okay, so as said, for the user new to the RDBMs like SQL Server, db2 Oracle, you will see this all the time. It says, okay, when I run the query first time, you get a timing. When you run second time, it's super fast. That is because you already connected your cache, your data was fetched from disk to memory. The second run, you will read the data directly from memory, okay? Unless you disconnect this session, so the data will age out from memory, so like we just did here, okay? So you see the difference. So that is important to understand this benchmarking philosophy or methodology, okay? And also, you can see from here, let me draw one more time. Also, when you see a big difference, right? If you examine this data, you will see the number changed. If it's cached or it's not cached, you probably will see like a direct read, those kind of physical read is different, because if the data is already in the cache, you may not see those. You may not see this in the snapshot like output. All right, there should be hopefully this tip are helpful for people interested in performance tuning and using this to help in certain degree. It's not a like at least to give up like a ballpark number. You will see it similar like in the Oracle and the SQL Server world, right? When you run a query, it says okay, like in the SQL Server, you see, I want to see the timing, the statistics, the set statistic on, set timing on, something like that, okay? I don't remember the exact syntax. Then when you run the query, at the bottom, you give your timing and how many physical reads, those kind of information. For the Oracle, same thing. You can run the SQL Plus and set, then you can set explain on, or, you can get those kind of information. db2 they don't have. You can use this benchmarking to do that, okay? Like db2, if you initiate a db2 session right like this, they don't have like set statistics on those kind of information, okay? But similarly, you can use this db2 to capture the session information. I believe this is more, even give more data than the simply SQL Plus and db2 CMD or SSMS session to, Okay,